Okay, today I got for you a response video to Joe Schimmel. He is himself responding to some other guy. If you want to watch the full video, well, go watch it. But you came here, or I've found you from the algorithm. So you're going to watch my video, which I'm responding to him. So anyways, let's move on. First off, mad respect to Joe for his series. I've enjoyed a lot of his documentaries. I myself am a recovering dispensationalist, and I'm here to fight him against his erroneous views of dispensationalism. Let's get into how the trickery is laid out and how those that are really inquisitive eventually get to the point where they realize there's no answers in this theology.
Does God have one people? Yes, by faith, but that doesn't cancel God's promises to the nation of Israel.
No one said it cancels the promises. The point is that anyone that believes in God in the Old Testament would have become Jews. Anyone that believes God in the New Testament is called the church, right? Was Abraham called Israel? No, but the promises was to Abraham, who didn't live under the law, by the way. So let's look at Galatians 3:29. And if you are Christ's, then you are Abraham's seed and heirs according to the promise. We are heirs according to the promise. As much as you don't like that, tough titty, said the mama to the kid.
In Romans chapter 11, Paul asks the penetrating question in regard to Israel. Has God rejected his people? He doesn't go on to say that the church replaced Israel. Rather, he gives a thunderous, God forbid, may it never be. In Jeremiah chapter...
Whoa. Did you see what he did there? He just made an assertion and didn't back it up with the full context of the chapter. So let's do what Joe wouldn't do. Let's find out what chapter 11 says.
I ask then, did God reject his people? Certainly not. I am an Israelite myself, a descendant of Abraham from the tribe of Benjamin. God did not reject his people, whom he foreknew.
The answer is given. It's the remnant. The early church was Jewish people. The remnant was saved. Certainly not, God has not cast off his people. The remnant was saved. And then he's going to give an illustration how that was always the case. So let's get into that now.
Do you not know what the scriptures about Elijah, how he appealed to God against Israel? Lord, they have killed your prophets and torn down your altars. I am the only one left, and they are seeking my life as well. And what was the divine reply to him? I have reserved for myself 7,000 men who have not bowed the knee to Baal. In the same way, at the present time, there is a remnant chosen by grace.
Boom! John, Peter, Paul, these were all Jews, and they were all part of the early church. Today, there are also Jews that have long been Christians and are turning to Christ. When a Jew becomes a believer in Jesus, they become part of the church. The word Christian is just a term, but it's about being the bride of Christ. Only those that go through the door, which is Jesus, that's the only way. So stop trying to enter in different ways, see?
What then? What Israel was seeking, it failed to obtain. But the elect did, the others were hardened. As it is written, God gave them a spirit of stupor, eyes that could not see and ears that could not hear, to this very day. And David says, may their table become a snare and a trap, a stumbling block and a retribution to them. May their eyes be darkened so they cannot see, and their backs be bent forever. I asked them, did they stumble so as to fall beyond recovery? Certainly not. However, because of their trespass, salvation has come to the Gentiles to make Israel jealous.
So here's a point that can become conflated when it comes to this idea: is God done, quote unquote, with Israel, right? With current day Jews, is God done with them? Has he cast them away? Well, this is very clearly saying they're not like, it's not like they can't come to Christ. They can come to Christ. They can be redeemed. And Paul even gives us kind of hope in the rest of this chapter about that could possibly happen at the end where they come to the Lord. And as many as come to the Lord, to Jesus, they become the church. The other aspect to this is what's the other aspect of this? It's very clear, and we'll get into it in chapter 11. We're not supposed to be hateful to them. For the patriarch's sake, they are loved by God because of the patriarchs, because of who their bloodline partridge is. Fathers are, right? Which also gives you an indication that we are allowed to love our ancestors. So people that hate on the white race, you can go take a seat because God created us too.
Now if some branches have been broken off and you a wild olive shoot have been grafted in among the others to share in the nourishment of the olive root, do not boast over those branches. If you do, remember this: you do not support the root, but the root supports you.
Notice what it says there. If some branches have been broken off, and Gentiles were grafted in among the natural ones, the ones that stayed, the remnant, right? So there is a casting away of the bad ones, and there is a remaining of the ones that were the remnant, as it has always been. And the root is Jesus, by the way. That should be obvious.
You will say then, branches were broken off so that I could be grafted in. That is correct. They were broken off because of unbelief, but you stand by faith. Do not be arrogant, but be afraid. For if God did not spare the natural branches, he will certainly not spare you either. Take notice, therefore, of the kindness and severity of God. Severity to those who fell, but kindness to you if you continue in his kindness. Otherwise you also will be cut off. And if they do not persist in unbelief, they will be grafted in, for God is able to graft them in again.
I mean, boom. Boom upon boom upon boom. Not only is this saying that just because, don't think that your bloodline or your heritage gets you into heaven. Don't think that just because you said a prayer, you get into heaven. If you do not remain in belief, you're out, buddy. You're gone. You're out of here. That's the severity of God. It was towards them in that time when they didn't honor the Son, and it'll be for us if we don't honor the Son. And how do you say, Lord, Lord, and not do the things that the Lord has said? Oh my gosh, it takes the whole Bible, you guys. Read the whole Bible. Joe Schimmel, you should be ashamed of yourself. All this complexity you have just disregarded by jumping to another scripture.
How much more readily will these, the natural branches, be grafted into their own olive tree? I do not want you to be ignorant of this mystery, brothers, so that you will not be conceited or hardening in part has come to Israel until the full number of the Gentiles is coming. So all Israel will be saved. As it is written, the deliverer will come from Zion. He will remove godlessness from Jacob.
So I do believe that there is a future in which all of the current day, the Jewish nation, even if I think there is possibility, okay. Every nation that is a nation is there because God has brought it to be. Every ruler is there because God has allowed it to be. He has his hands in all of these things. Even when the enemy does things, they don't understand God is still behind, controlling it towards his better ends, okay? So Israel is a nation now. It's not under the Lord, but it is a nation, and we can't disregard that that's not for a purpose. So I actually do believe that God is working towards his purpose, that they will be grafted back in with us. But that's the difference is when they come to Jesus, they will be one with us. We are going to be one. Jesus said, I have many sheep, not of this fold, and I will bring them all together, and they will have one shepherd. Jesus is not a racist. We will be one. But it was really interesting in that moment where it said, it said he will remove godlessness from Jacob. What is that godlessness? It's them acting in ungodliness. So he is shaping their character. But I do believe that is the molding. And it's the same with like what happened like I consider like my people like from Britannia, the Celtic and stuff. They were very barbaric, but God has molded my people for thousands of years to not being barbaric, being civilized and honoring him in a way more than we did in the past. And so that's what God is doing, I believe, with all of the world, but also with the Jewish people. The godlessness that will not be found in them is their own doings, their own godlessness. It'll be gone. He's going to weed it out. And we just got to trust in the Lord.
And this is my covenant with them when I take away their sins. Regarding the gospel, they are enemies on your account. But regarding election, they are loved on account of the patriarchs.
So I believe the reason why they're enemies to us, why he wrote that, is because at that time they were actually persecuting the church. They were amongst the first to shed Christian blood. And that's why I also believe that they are the woman that rides the beast that's drunk on the blood of the saints. And these were Jewish saints, by the way. And they're beloved on behalf of the patriarchs, their fathers who the Lord loved. But I do not believe this is calling like the unbelieving ones. It's their descendants. It's kind of like the Jews that went through the desert. They had to go again because they didn't believe God. And so he's like, you're going to wander for 30 years. Your children can inherit the promised land, but you won't. So it's not that God loved the disobedient ones, but it's the lineage, right? The lineage. But we should be loving of our enemies. That's what God has called us to do. But also, that doesn't mean that we give way to evil. So there's just a lot, okay? I'm sorry, guys, but life is complicated, so we have to be too.
Hey kid, why don't you watch this next video? And it would be real cool if you click the follow button. Do it.